we'll have to start with the 5:30 p.m. agenda review session, followed immediately by the city council meeting for Wednesday, April 21st, 2021.
This is a public service announcement. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has issued executive orders limiting the size of public gatherings. The city council will meet today with 4 voting members of the city council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. Some city employees will also be available to participate in the same manner.
We'll start with the approval of minutes, then we have report of correspondence by the city clerk. We have no public hearings tonight. We have one ordinance on second reading, which is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 16, Stormwater Control. We have 4 ordinances on first reading. The first one is an ordinance to authorize vacation of a portion of Duke Street in the city of New Brunswick. The second is an ordinance to adopt the redevelopment plan for the Jersey Handy redevelopment area. The third is an ordinance to adopt the redevelopment plan for the stanford redevelopment area. And number 4 is a bond ordinance providing for various improvements for $16 million. Then we have resolutions 1 through 23. 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sales certificates. 4, authorize application and acceptance of grant for body-worn cameras. 5, advice and consent to rent control board reappointment of Marie Catanese. 6, approve authorization to advertise for water main valves. 7, approve emergency temporary appropriations for 2021. 8, approve award of contract with Barbado Nursery. 9, authorize purchase by the police department of ammunition. 10, approve request for use of city property at Boyd Park for Earth Day trash cleanup. 11, authorize purchase by police department for private data line service. 12, approve award of contract with Envirolutions LLC for membrane modules. 13, approve relaxation of city noise ordinance. 14, approve submission of recycling enhancement grant application. 15, approve amendment of resolution R-122075 with Matt McDonald for replacement of water utility main, which the project started in 2018. 16, approve authorization to advertise for 2018 water main replacements. 17, authorize transfers on several tax and utility accounts. 18, approve resolution to refer an amendment of the zoning ordinance to the planning board for review and report for cannabis businesses. 19, approve award of contract for safety consultant and trainer for the water utility. 20, authorize access and use agreement with Rutgers Cooperative Extension. 21, approve amendment of resolution R-122027 with Montana Construction. 22, authorize utilization of public right-of-way with ARM for mobile shower services. 23, authorize agreement with Middlesex County Improvement Authority for pooled capital equipment program. Then we have items for discussion by council, an OEM update, public comment. The council meeting will be on May 5th, 2021 with the agenda review session beginning at 5:30 p.m. And now I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Escobar is absent. Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the city clerk on April 19th, 2021, as is required by law.
The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing the telephonic conferencing system through which the public may participate. The public is encouraged to call into the conference system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for public comment, all callers from the public will be muted. During the public comment periods, those who have interest in addressing the council will first be organized by last name and called upon to speak one time and for no longer than 5 minutes during each public comment portion of the meeting. A timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and the speaker will be notified that their time has expired. Public meeting assistants accessing the call-in number should call City Hall at 732-745-5007.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of silence to reflect and honor our military personnel and law enforcement officers who dedicate their lives to protect our freedom, safety, and democracy. May God guide them safely in their duties. Thank you.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes, February 17th. Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has the correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tonight, we have no public hearings, and we do have an ordinance on second reading, which is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 16, Land Development Code, Chapter 16.24, Site Plan Review, Section 16.24.270A, Stormwater Control. At this time, we're preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list for us?
Yes, Council President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called.
Unmuted.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Okay, Mr. Cradaville. M, N, O, P.
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore. Q, R, S, T. U, V. W, X, Y, Z. Okay. Is there any other member who wishes to address the council on this ordinance only? This is the last call if you wish to speak on this ordinance. Council President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Cradaville, can you please state your name, spell your last name, and address for the record, if you would?
Yes, Charles Cradaville, Kratovil. I live on Dam Street in the 2nd Ward of New Brunswick. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to hear a little bit about what this ordinance is going to change. I know, I believe the state is requiring municipalities to revisit their stormwater policies, and I'm curious to know what is going to change and when this was supposed to be done by.
Mr. Valenti, can you please provide an answer to this
Muted.
for this question?
Yes, I can, certainly. If it pleases the council, Mr. Cradaville is correct. This ordinance adoption is required or mandated by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Essentially, what this update does, it modifies some existing definitions. It adds some new definitions. Depending on the definitions and specific requirements, it will now trigger other requirements, I guess, under the stormwater control plan. It does provide for green infrastructure and green projects. It does allow some waivers, but the requirements are very stringent. You know, it would take me hours to go through the details of it. It's literally several pages or 30 some pages, but essentially this is mandated by the DEP.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti.
Okay, and was there a deadline for this to be adopted?
I believe it was to be adopted before the end of March. We had some scheduling issues with the planning board and had to be referred to the planning board first. But again, due to some of that backlog, we're basically 2 weeks behind at this point.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all I have on this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Cradavell.
Okay, Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Daniel.
Unmuted.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, can you please state your name, spell your last name, and address for the record?
Danielle Moore, Moore, 333 Somerset Street.
Thank you. The
So
floor
is
is yours.
try to help clean the water? What are you? It's still not saying what detail.
Mr. Valenti, is this more of setting this is requirements and definitions?
Muted.
There's a lot involved with this ordinance. I don't know exactly what specifics Ms. Moore is looking for. Do you have an answer for that?
Well, specifically, this is to fine tune the rules and to add some teeth to the state's enforcement for it. It does allow some newer provisions, which are, if anything, slightly more stringent than the existing ones. So essentially, it'll help preserve, minimize the runoff into the bodies of water, the river and the different streams. But in essence, it will better control stormwater runoff, and the impact should be cleaner water.
Okay, so is this something also? Is this like related to the situation with the streams as well, or is this something separate?
No, this is specific to site plan development, and if there's an area that has never been developed, there's controls for how you deal with stormwater and different regulations on how that's all dealt with. It's very technical. It's going to definitely involve engineers to update all their knowledge as it relates to that and different techniques and different mechanisms they have to provide stormwater control.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, Council
Madam
President,
Clerk,
there are no more members of the public on the list.
thank you.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Then we have ordinances on first reading. One, an ordinance to authorize vacation of a portion of Duke Street in the city of New Brunswick.
I move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 5:30 PM, same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Two, an ordinance to adopt a redevelopment plan for the Jersey Handy redevelopment area in the city of New Brunswick.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 5:30 PM, same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Number 3, an ordinance to adopt the redevelopment plan for the Stanford cremson redevelopment area in the city of New Brunswick.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 5:30 PM, same date, to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. And number 4 is a bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water system by and in the city of New Brunswick in the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, appropriating $16 million. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of a $16 million bond or note to finance part of the cost thereof.
I move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 5:30 PM, same date, to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have resolutions 1 through 23. At this time, we're preparing to open the meeting to the public on the resolutions only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on the resolutions only, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called.
Unmuted.
E?
Yes.
E through H? I'm sorry, can you repeat your name?
Sorry, John Elmaragi.
Elmaragi.
Okay. Okay. I through L? M through P?
Oh, Charlie Cradaville, sorry.
Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore. Q through T?
Linda Stork, S-T-O-R-K.
U through Z? Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council on the resolution? This will be the last call. A through Z, if you wish to address the council on the resolution. Okay, Council President, the first
Muted.
on the list is Mr. John Elmaragi.
Thank you. Mr. Malrage, will you please state your name, spell your last name, and address for the record?
Yes, my name is John J. Chen. Last name Elmaragi. That's spelled E-L hyphen M as in Mary, A, R as in Robert, A, G as in George, H as in Henry, Y as in yellow. And I live at 183 Congress, like Congress of the United States, Street, Jersey City, New Jersey.
Great, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I am the director of Archangel Raphael's mission, and we're very excited at the agenda item 22. We recently purchased a 2-stall shower unit. So that is 1 shower, sink, and toilet, 2 of those to provide services, hygiene services to the homeless in the New Brunswick community. We've been providing services to the community for about 5 years now. In terms of total lifetime impact, we've provided over 26,000 services. This year alone, we've provided just about 16,000 services, which includes 4,000 hand washes, 3,000 articles of PPE, more than 3,000 pairs of socks, and more than 1,000 articles of clothing. We believe that the shower services are unique, novel, and needed in our community, and we are very thankful to the town council, the mayor, and the citizens of New Brunswick to welcome us into their community to serve our mutual guests.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do for the community and for putting this project forth for everyone as well.
Thank you.
Council President, the next person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Cradaville, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a number of resolutions I'd like to ask about and make comments on. The body worn camera grant, I'd like to understand the amount of the grant and what took so long for the city to finally apply.
They were just able to apply for this grant. It's a state grant, in totality, which is $57.5 million. That's going to be divided however they see fit among the municipalities in the state. We are not sure at all how much money we will get. It wasn't applied for as a dollar amount.
Okay. And isn't it true that the state has offered this grant annually for several years now? My question was why wasn't it applied for previously?
Deputy Director Miller, was this offered to us in previous years?
No, this grant is specific to the new legislation that is requiring body cameras. The application was made available in the beginning of April, so as soon as the application came out, we started to complete the application. It was submitted last week to the state, and like the council president said, the dollar amount that will be awarded will be determined when the award documents are sent out. To repeat what the council president said, it's a $57 million grant to be divided up to all the municipalities that do apply. So when we get a dollar amount, then we'll know how much we have to work with.
Thank
Sure.
you,
But isn't it true that the Attorney General's office has offered grants for police departments to purchase body-worn cameras in previous years, for several years now?
Mr. Miller, Deputy Director Miller, are you aware of any of these grants from prior years?
There have been grants offered. I'm aware of one grant. There may be others that have been offered in prior years. However, the money that was offered in prior years was not a viable option for the city of New Brunswick, considering the amount of cameras we need. We would not be able to afford it at that time. Now that it's mandated, hopefully we're going to receive a dollar amount that will be able to sustain a good portion of the cameras, if not all of them. But again, we won't know the number until then.
Thank you.
Okay. I just respectfully suggest that it would have been wise to apply for the previous rounds of the grants so that we'd be part of the way there rather than waiting until it's mandatory and the state is forcing the city to do this. But I'll move on. The next one, I wanted to ask the Rent Control Board appointee, Marie Catanese. Is she any relation to the Assistant City Attorney with the same last name?
She was his ex-wife.
Oh, thank you. Moving on. Page 3, wanted to understand about the grant for the illegal dumping cameras. Do we have a problem with illegal dumping? Can you tell me where these cameras might be put up if you get the grant?
Can you just give me a number on that, Charlie, if you don't mind? I'm just trying to get to my, number 14.
Yeah.
No, this is a grant that's being offered. It wasn't something that we sought out because we have a problem. If we do get the grant, the city will, determine if what areas need it the most.
Okay, thanks. Number 18, I'd like to hear a little bit about the zoning for cannabis businesses. I look at the resolution here and I don't see any details on what areas of the city. It just says certain areas and certain types of businesses. Can you tell me what the city council is hoping for here? Is there another document that maybe you could share with me about the specifics?
Well, I do have some information that I can give you. And as you know, this is a resolution for the city council to refer it to the planning board for approval. So what this is laying out is 3 separate overlay zones. One will be the Easton Avenue corridor, one will be the George Street corridor, and then one will be out in the Jersey Avenue area. Now, the Easton Avenue and the George Street corridors will be for retail, and the industrial area out by Jersey Avenue there, the industrial overlay zone will be for manufacturing and wholesale and such. There will be no retail out of that area. And I can actually forward you, more details of the zones themselves as far as streets are concerned, but you'll see this again in front of the planning board.
Okay, Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Thorpe. I'm sorry, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, the floor is yours.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
ma'am.
Oh, hi, okay. So
Yes,
I'd like
ma'am.
to start off with number 16, with the water main replacement for Livingston Avenue.
Mr. Wallace, this is an authorization to advertise for this project, correct?
Wow,
Mr. Wallace?
why every time I answer questions, always have to
Correct.
kill my time waiting?
That's correct. It's for addition of a water main between 8th and 9th Avenue.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And then as far as with 14, if you do get the cameras, I surely hope you put the cameras definitely in certain areas where you have city garbage cans for people to stop dropping their garbage off in front of city garbage cans. And that's basically why most of them are removed due to where the owners do not like the city garbage cans in front of their house locations, due to where people are dumping extremely too much garbage. So I do hope you do get these cameras and put them mainly where you have city trash cans to catch these people and give them tickets for dumping garbage. Then far as with the cameras, where I surely hope, and I can't wait, that you do get these cameras. If you can ask Captain Miller at all times, these type of cameras, they will be recording the officers as